Things are so
Okay, welcome to the Wednesday, April 26th, 2023 meeting of the Fall River Redevelopment Authority. Recording of the open session can be viewed at Fall River Government TV, www.frgtv.us. First item is call to order. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recording and transmission are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. In attendance, we have Sarah Page, John Coughlin, Ken Fiola is supposed to be coming, Karen Martin, our project coordinator, and we need a roll call. John Erickson.
Louis Gonzalez.
Joan Medeiros.
Ron Rusin.
Yang team.
Okay. We need to approve the open session meeting minutes from March 30th. Does anybody have any questions about that?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. You all have the warrant.
We have to approve roll call.
Oh, roll call, sorry. John Erickson.
Louis Gonzalez. Yeah.
Joan Medeiros, yes.
Ron Rusin, yes.
Yang team, yes.
Okay. You all have the warrant, which is a total of $53,222.07. Any questions on that? No? Okay. Next project updates, waterfront.
we
Oh.
need
approval.
Motion and.
Motion to
Oh,
approve.
sorry.
Motion to approve the warrant.
I'm racing.
Johnny, we have
no rush.
time. We're not in a rush.
Sorry, I need a motion to approve the warrant.
So moved. Second.
Good, okay. We need a roll call for that?
Yeah, roll call, yes.
John Erickson, yes.
You go.
Okay, Joan Medeiros, yes.
Yang team, yes.
Louis Gonzalez, yes.
Ron Rusin, yes.
Okay. Project updates, Waterfront City Pier. Sarah, do you want to speak to the program
Yes.
aspect of it?
So I just want to clarify that after the last board meeting, I went back and I mentioned to the mayor that, well, he asked me, how'd the board meeting go, the way he sometimes does. And I said, well, we're concerned about programming on City Pier and how we're going to fund the events. And he said, don't worry, we've got money. And so he said Senator Roderick has allocated some funds for events in Fall River this summer. And then we had a meeting and Patrick said that the Narrows and Viva Fall River both can fund the events. They're not going to be major events and that they can take care of that and they will be organizing them. So the concerns that I had, I think, came legitimately out of a meeting where there was all this discussion and I was left with the impression that we would need to come up with money for it, but we don't need to come up with money for it, and people understand that we're doing docks and everything else and that we need other people to be putting on the events. So that was really helpful. I'm really appreciative that you kind of gave me the feedback that you two didn't think that we were trying to fund and organize the events the way I was beginning to worry about. And I do want to clarify something. Ron asked at the last meeting if we can charge the food trucks, and I was told that nobody in Fall River is charging the food trucks for these food truck nights because the food trucks are not making so much money that that's part of the deal. The deal is come to Fall River so that people will come out at night and go to big food truck events, and we're not charging them. So. And, especially with the fact that everyone's worried about parking for events on Duval Street, it's probably not a summer that charging for things is going to be as easy as when we go forward.
Also keep in mind that shutting down that road in August for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we can't have events during that time. There's a point, I know the Cove is shut down. They cannot, for 2 weeks they cannot open. so there's gonna be a time zone around there that we can't have a concert, so be careful how you schedule, because that road will be closed for Peter.
Do we know what 2 weeks that is?
I can find out, I tried to get ahold of Peter today, but he wasn't available. You don't know, Ken, do you?
No, it's the first time hearing it.
Yeah. I will
Where-
find out, though.
How did you hear about it?
Cove Restaurant said that,
Right.
it was actually a friend of his who told me, who I was saying that he's really worried about it being closed. That's his biggest time
Yeah.
for
I don't,
his business.
it doesn't sound right.
I know, but,
I'm not
Yeah.
saying that's not true. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, usually they maintain access at all points.
Yeah.
It might be different, because eventually, when they're working on those roads, the middle of the project, which is being worked on now, there's gonna be roadways up there. But they're gonna have to allow access for people to live at Point Gloria,
yeah.
people to get to the parks, people to get to the.
Yeah, I think it was only from the Cove to the lights, that one part there, like where the bridge is now, that's I think the only part they're talking about. I don't know why, it would take 2 weeks to do that.
The bridges, there's no longer a bridge
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was taken out, so I don't know. I don't know if that, I'll find out, but I haven't heard that. It might be true, but I'm not sure.
Sarah, do you want to speak to, excuse me, Pleasant Street?
Yes, so we're coming to the end of the analysis of the properties that we want to have on our potential acquisition list. We got the final version of the tax title properties from Matt Thomas at the end of the day yesterday, met with him about it today. Karen and I are going to go out and confirm a few. There are quite a few in tax taking that are residential properties that Innes Associates put on the list, but we don't think that we're interested in most residential properties, single-family homes especially. So we're just going to confirm which ones of those, if any, we want on our list. The primary ones are on Pleasant Street, and the real focus is on Pleasant Street. So we're going to confirm that list and get that off to her so that she will have the list for us to review at our team meeting next Wednesday. And then we have a citizens advisory group meeting in the Flint finally again, where we'll be able to really talk with our committee about both the roadmap and the draft of the urban renewal plan. And soon Emily is going to send it to DHCD. I think she wanted to send it before our advisory group meeting, but we've asked her to wait so the advisory group gets to give their input, and then she's informally sending it to DHCD for a technical review so that they'll tell us if there's anywhere we're really straying and need to revise before they do their formal review. And so that is moving along, and then I'll update you on the Downtown Historic District expansion. All the documents were completed. Ken and I thought that the consultant did a really good job. Jason, the chair of the city's Historic Commission, has been really involved, and he's been giving input, and that's been helpful. So a really good package of material went to the Mass Historic Commission a couple of weeks ago, and we are waiting to hear if they approve our area of expansion, which we think we now have given them the arguments that they should approve it. We had been told way back that they weren't sure that we should have one historic district that included the North Main Street area and the South Main, and we're arguing that there was too big a split between the two halves. And our consultant found a document from the Mass Historic Commission that said that they thought many years ago that it should be all one historic district. So he put together really good arguments. I think we'll get approval of that, and then we will have public meetings, and then he can make any revisions and send it off to the National Park Service eventually. but at least we're through some major first hurdles.
Can I just comment on
Yes.
the takings? So when we did the urban renewal plans, we did include residential properties for potential takings.
You did, yeah.
Not that they're gonna be taken, but if there are a bunch of properties together that you may wanna try to do something with, not having them listed as takings
Right.
would prevent you from doing that, so I'm
Yeah,
not sure
if there
what the
were
rationale
groups,
would be.
if there were groups of them, it would be one thing, but there's like one here, one
Okay.
there. And that's why we're gonna go out and look at it.
Okay.
There, you know, one of the things we wanna look at is there's a parking lot in the middle of a residential area. Maybe that could be combined with something else and could be really useful. So, you know, we'll definitely look at that. The other thing that's on there is a few condos, and obviously we don't want those.
No. I just also, on another note, I just heard from Dan Egg, he's unaware of any section of Duval Street being closed.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's always gonna be access to Duval Street and the cross streets. Only one cross street at a time will be closed.
Okay.
Okay, so. Anyway, that clears that up.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything else?
No.
The chair makes a finding that an open session would have a detrimental effect on negotiating and litigating position of the public body. The purpose of the executive session is to review the executive session minutes from March 30th, 2023, and discuss strategy with respect to potential litigation regarding City Pier, strategy regarding real estate transactions at 2501 South Main Street, Innovation Way, and Duval Street.
So we need a roll call vote to go into executive session for those items and not to return to open session.
We need a vote to go into executive session, and we're not going to return, correct?
Right.
Okay.
So moved.
John Erickson.
So you-
You want to get a motion for us to
Second.
move?
Second.
Yeah.
John Erickson, yes?
Joan Maderis, yes.
Ann Keene, yes.
Louis Conzos, yes.
Ron Rusin, yes.
Okay.